we've got the budget on Wednesday. We know a lot of what's going to be in it. Do you think there's anything that you've heard about that the Conservatives might support in the name of growth?
Well, all I've heard are tax rises, tax rises, tax rises. We don't support that. People out there are suffering enough. It looks like Rachel Reeves is going to tax people to pay for the welfare the welfare increases, which she's been talking about and floating. What we need is to cut public spending. She's dragged a lot more people she'll be dragging a lot more people into higher tax rates by freezing the threshold. I think that's terrible. We need to actually lift the burden on many of those people out there who are suffering.
As you say, it sounds like there's going to be freezes to personal allowances, cuts to pensions allowance. Flip it round. Are there any things that you can say now that you would repeal if you're in government that they are likely to announce on Wednesday?
Well, I'll have to hear it. I'll have to hear it first. I mean, today I've been talking about repealing all of the terrible measures in the Employment Rights Bill. That's going to cost businesses £5 billion. Businesses out there are absolutely livid. They heard the business secretary today talk about, he'll have 26 consultations to make sure it's okay. We should just get rid of it. We need growth measures, not job-killing measures.
There's a bigger point, though, isn't there? And it's a good day to focus on it. Peter Kyle said in his speech that we haven't really had growth in this country for 2 decades. Anemic growth really since the financial crisis. How do you think they should fix it?
Well, we've had lots of issues. Financial crisis, yes. We've also had COVID. We were literally paying people to stay at home. With huge drop in productivity. A war in Ukraine as well, quite topical at the moment. They now need to pick up after that. We dealt with many of those things. The best way to get growth is to let the people who create growth do their jobs. That's business. It's business that creates growth. It's not government. And if you keep burdening businesses to the point where they don't hire, where they close up shop, then we're not going to see any growth. That's where a lot of the changes need to be made, lightening the load on business.
I think people want to know, what you would do, what big measures you think would be the most likely to help get productive. What are your day one plans?
So I've talked quite often about our cheap power plan. Energy prices in our country are far too high. Industrial energy prices in particular, speaking to a manufacturer downstairs, 4 times the cost of US energy prices. We need to scrap a lot of the silly levies that are on there. We need to start drilling in the North Sea. Our oil and gas businesses are closing down. The industry there is disappearing. We're not going to get any tax from one of the places that paid the most tax. That's an example of one of the things that we need to do. Another example, for smaller shops, scrap business rates for retail, leisure and hospitality. Get the high streets going. High streets are often the first sign of decline in an area. They need a lot of help. So those are the sorts of measures that I would like to see. Helping business, helping families, helping consumers.
When you diagnose why we've had low growth for many years, you pointed to the sort of big items, pandemic, financial crisis. But do you think there's a sort of bit more of a British disease about it, that, there needs to be some kind of productivity shock, or that, the country needs a bit more of a kick up the backside in order to get it going? Is that needed, and would you deliver that?
Well, I think that one of the things that has reduced productivity was relying on low-skilled immigration. That doesn't help generate productivity. I've been very honest that immigration was too high, especially over the last couple of years. We did a lot to bring that down. We're seeing the fruits of that. But we can't be an economy that relies on immigration, because that does not help with productivity. We need, business innovation. We need to make sure that we're attracting the right sorts of businesses that develop the skills that help us to be more productive. That's what we need to see.
One of the measures that we're expecting, the governor pretty much said, is a rise in the minimum wage. And that's going to include a pay rise of 8% for younger workers. Do you support that, or do you think that's too much of a burden for business?
Well, I just think that the businesses aren't going to hire young workers. Right now, we have the highest rate of graduate unemployment we've ever seen. Graduates aren't finding jobs. The people who hire the youngest workers, retail, hospitality, leisure, they're not hiring. They are screaming. That's why I have that business rates policy to relieve them of that tax. So you can give young people 100% pay rise, but if the businesses don't hire them, they're still unemployed. Unemployment is a problem that needs solving. It's gone up every single month since Labour came into office. They need to tackle it.
Final question. We revealed today that the Office of Budget Responsibility is set to downgrade growth in 2026 and all the other years of this Parliament compared to what they said it would be in the spring OBR report. What does that tell you about where we are?
It just shows that we need something very, very radical to start tackling this perennial growth issue. And that's where the Chancellor needs to focus on in her speech on Wednesday. We heard her at the last budget where she was crowing about raising taxes and lots of growth-killing measures. We've said that we will repeal some of the things from the last budget, family business taxes, family farms taxes. Many of those places are closing down. We need to start getting more growth.
And actually, can I ask you one more? We heard from Rachel Reeves at the weekend. She was complaining about people mansplaining her about how to be Chancellor. What did you think when you saw that?
I'm not a man, and I think she's doing a terrible job. I don't think she can call that mansplaining. A lot of people out there in the country, men and women, thinks that she needs to cut tax, and if she raises it, then she should go. That's what she should be worried about.